Hey y'all, welcome to the Dangerously Unique podcast. My name is Core and I am the host, and we are here to get dangerous. Yes, today we're talking about all things trending. We're going to talk about some hip hop beef. We're going to talk about some social cultural issues, and we're going to talk about things that we believe are important and hopefully are important to you. If you're interested in what we have to say, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because this is going to be an epic show. Welcome to the Dangerously Unique podcast. Let's get dangerous.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are for entertainment purposes only and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any of the entities they represent.
Let's get dangerous. Start off with the first topic, which is the aftermath of the Shannon Sharpe and Amanda Seales interview. If you have been under a rock the past month, you probably don't know anything that's going on in relation to Amanda Seales and Shannon Sharpe, but this is just a quick beeline. We'll cut to the point. Amanda Seales had an issue with how she was being seen by the public, and she went on Shannon Sharpe's show to basically dispel some rumors and for them to have a conversation about where she's at and what's happening. That conversation led to some issues, I guess some backlash between the two of them on the actual podcast, just within misunderstanding in relation to perspectives on certain scenarios, one particularly whether something was racist or whether something was just being disrespectful, basically.
And Mr. Wright was like, all right, so, we're here to discuss Amanda disrupting the class with her talking. And she was like, no, Amanda doesn't disrupt the class with her talking. She actually helps the other students out. He's like, oh, okay. So is it about her grades? And she's like, actually, no. One of her art pieces is featured in our exhibit at the library. And he's like, so what are we here for? And she's like, well, she corrects me in front of the class. And these three black people are like, here we go with this racist bullshit, because that's really what it is. We're in Florida in the 80s and the 90s. And
But let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think she would have felt equally as offended if a white kid, because I'm assuming this teacher was white, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I think the internet got in the mix of everything, like people's comments in relation to how the interview went kind of sparked this level of tension between them post the interview.
I personally think this is just another example of Amanda Seales, shooting herself in the foot. Basically sabotaging her own shit. I like Amanda's comedy. I liked her on Insecure. I recently found out she was in Tree for
a hot minute.
Yeah. As far as I have been able to see of Amanda, it seems like she is not very capable of taking accountability for her own actions when it comes to how she deals with people. Because even when I was watching that interview with Shannon Sharpe, it was like she was being combative with him about stuff. And it wasn't and Shannon doesn't really come at people trying to do the gotcha thing. He's just trying to have conversations, right? And I understand one of the questions when he asked her if she was mixed and she got offended by that and whatever. I get that, right? As a light skin, I get that. I am not mixed, but I get asked that a lot. So it's very vexing. But I feel like Amanda's reaction to a lot of things in her, when she's on camera or how she deals with people, it feels maybe it's just a Caribbean thing, because she's Caribbean too. Maybe it's just she just doesn't know how to properly come across as somebody who's not always defensive and doesn't have her walls up.
I think that's just because again she kind of talked about anxiety, and I don't know if the anxiety is not directly related to her self-diagnosis of autism, but I do think that there's a level of anxiety from trauma of being misunderstood constantly. Because she talked about it in an interview her whole entire life. She's always been dangerously unique. She's been perceived as other. She's been perceived as having other ulterior motives than what she actually is coming into the space with. And so I think she's just on guard all the time. And so she's, in her mind, there's a pattern that's been created in her experience. And so she's basically trying to one-up the pattern by basically trying to, make sure that things are clear and make sure that things aren't misinterpreted. But somehow when she's expressing that, it can come off as aggressive and it can come off as rude, but it's just her, I mean, sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being misrepresented or misunderstood. But that really showed, I guess, in this interview because, like you said, Shannon Sharp is just like, I'm here to have the conversation. I'm not checking for any of that. I don't even know what's going on, really. Like, I haven't even done any back history. I'm just kind of giving you a platform. You reached out to me. You wanted to talk to me. Yeah. So now we're having this conversation, and hopefully you're going to get whatever out of it that you want to get out of it. But unfortunately, I think the internet, started critiquing his ability to ask questions, his ability to be an effective interviewer. And then also that particular specific point, I think when she was expressing her personal experience that happened to her as a child in elementary school, where she felt that she was experiencing racism from her teacher, and he was trying to say that it wasn't. I think it kind of gets really difficult when you're trying to tell somebody that what they experience isn't what they experienced, It's great to offer people's perspectives on things, but then if they're not really looking for that perspective, then it can end up being like you're being combative or you're trying to undermine their personal experience or what's happening for them. Right. So I think that gets probably one of those things where he kind of just should have allowed her to talk and be like, again, that's her experience. He asked the question. He doesn't have to like the answer or not. He can think whatever he wants to about the situation, and he can just leave it at that. And I think that's where it kind of got a little dicey.
I get that. And I understand, so one person's perception of one event is not going to be the same as another one's, right? Mm-hmm. And only Amanda was there, and what she felt was what she felt. I think the issue that Amanda will face and continues to face is not only that she's unique, but it's the history that she's had in that business, in that industry, has been one of being a very hard person to work with. And as much as people would like to give her the benefit of the doubt, which there are very many people who do, it's also that's also how a lot of people see her. In that same interview, she was talking about the Issa Rae thing. I believe her on that. I believe Issa Rae kind of mistreated her based on, could have been, I don't know what the situation was. Well, could have been a colorism thing. It could have been her prior reputation. Could have been some other stuff that Issa was only personally dealing with. And Issa, through her assistant, basically locked Amanda out of an Emmys party that she was invited to. So to me, it seems, so for that, I believe her on that. But I will also say Amanda has, from every interview I've watched of her, because again, I do like Amanda Seales. Every interview I've watched of her, and every time she is talking to somebody else, it always comes off like she's trying to start a beef with somebody. And I don't think that's how she personally is. I just think that's again, Caribbeans, we talk loud, we talk with our hands.
I think the word emotional. Is passionate. I think she's quite passionate about the things that she says and how she feels. And I think not a lot of people are passionate. And I think when you are passionate, then it comes you overly care too much. Mm-hmm. But she does. She cares about Black people. She cares about what she's saying. She cares about herself. Mm-hmm. She cares about coming off in a way that she feels is going to be honorable of who she is. She's just a really passionate person. And she's passionate, and that's just period. Yeah. And so I think sometimes that passion can become off as aggression, in this reality of where I don't care about nothing or be chill about everything. Some people are passionate about the things and really care. And one thing that you did bring up that I thought was really cool in relation to the Issa Rae thing and her assistant. This assistant has actually been with Issa. They were, correct me if I'm wrong, they went to university together.
So it's her best friend.
They've been known each other. So they've been working together. So they're, of course, as friends, as you have inside conversations with your friend about things that you may feel about anything that happens to you in the workplace or in your day. So, and then let's say if you are in front of that person that you have an issue with, that you told your friend about, your friend are going to kiki see, that's what I was talking about. Yada. So I feel that the publicist, Issa's friend, had some time not liked Amanda from experiences that Issa expressed to her. Yes, exactly. And she internalized that, and through internalized that as trying to protect her friend, she just ended up projecting that and coming for Amanda. And whether Issa was being truly authentic about what was going on or exaggerating, being the third party, meaning the publicist, Issa's friend, being not in the relationship but only hearing whatever Issa's saying, may have overly taken that information and is now using that to attack Amanda without fully understanding what was really going on in the first place. And so that happens a lot. Sometimes you over-exaggerate, like, oh my God, I hate this person, da, 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 and really they're not doing anything. She's just being passionate. And you're chill. Like if you look at Issa Rae's chill. She's chill. She's chill vibes. Even on the character on the show's chill vibes. Yeah. Amanda's character is passionate. Yeah. She's just a passionate person. So you being chill vibes and around somebody who's passionate, of course you're gonna feel that they're doing the most. Yeah. You're gonna feel that they're just like taking up all the air in the room, and and then on top of that she's smart. So she's fact checking and she knows she has all of the receipts to back things up. So she's not going to let things go. And so usually that could come off as like icky for some people.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it when like Issa pitched Insecure to HBO that they initially wanted to cast Amanda as Issa or something like that? They wanted a light-skinned girl to play Issa Rae initially until Issa told them like, I'm not doing that. Like you either have me, play me, or we're not doing that. So I think maybe. And I don't want to get into the whole colorism thing in Black Circles. We talk about this a lot. And we'll get back into more of this when the Drake and Kendrick conversation comes in. But, like, I feel like that experience with Issa already being, like, a dark-skinned woman in Hollywood and then having to cast Amanda to fill a role that may not have been made for Amanda, right? And, like, it probably reinforced some issues she already has dealing with that kind of stuff, and then so she like psychologically could have taken down on Amanda because of that.
Yeah, she said that too. She saw Amanda as the character. Like Issa Rae saw Amanda as the character that she wrote. She wrote Insecure, and she perceived Amanda to be that person, the bougie, light-skinned, uppity type of chick. And Amanda had to take her out and be like, yo, that's not me. That's not what it is. And they had to clear that particular energy. Right. But, I feel like people act off of intuition. People act off of, just because we cleared it up doesn't mean that that's going to change my behavior. Just because we talked about it doesn't mean that we're cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It just means that we just talked about it. And that was kind of the thing. But yeah, I personally, my final hot take on this conversation would just be that back to the Shannon Sharp thing and Amanda Seales. I think the interview did, in my opinion, help Amanda Seales, and it also created a lot of space for a lot of other conversations. But I would feel for her, I think she's just needs to go heal and do her own introspective work. Yeah. And not do any more interviews on this subject matter. She can still share her other content, but I think that maybe she should revisit this conversation at a later date, because at this moment I feel the streets are hot, and I feel like then anything she says is just going to be like, it's going to be used as another thing, a justification to be like, oh, she's super passionate again, coming off aggressively again, coming off domineering again. And realistically, it's one of those things where like people just have to get used to her personality. And I think it's okay. There's multiple ways of being, and we have to be willing to be like, you can be that way. And I feel especially as a woman being that way, I think she obviously gets a lot of flack too. Yeah. Because she comes up, quote unquote, whatever, masculine in that particular aspect because she's direct within her conversation. But like I said, I think she needs to take a chill pill, go relax, focus on your content. Like, understand that people don't hate you. Stop giving these haters or anybody that doesn't like you the time of day. Yeah. Because realistically, they're going to talk whether you do good shit or whether you don't do good shit. They already decided who you are, and that's it. But you have a lot of people who love you and a lot of people who support you. So focus on your supporters. And Shannon Sharp, too. I like Shannon Sharp. He's talking to the common man. Yeah. He's talking to the common woman. He's a positive dude. There's no harm there. No harm, no foul. I think that there's different lanes. Not everyone needs to be Walter Cronkite or Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey, or extra serious and critical and analytical. That's not required in every interview. Like, if you want that, then go get that. Go get that. But I think he's a different type of take, and I appreciate him. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like for Amanda, if you're feeling this way, I feel like the best thing for you to do is just focus on something that you can create, that you can control the narrative of, instead of trying to go on these other platforms to get other people to like you. Because if people don't like you, they're not going to like you regardless. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you are who you are, and if people can't drive with that or get behind that, then they're not going to like you no matter what you do. And I think there's a level of acceptance that's needed for you to move forward through that, to kind of take healed from that, like you were saying. I do think that, like, there's a lot of misrepresentation when it comes to Amanda Seales, and I think that's not fair. I also feel like sometimes that, like, she's not aware that sometimes she does things that rub people the wrong way, and because of how she is, she doesn't necessarily feel like she needs to apologize for that. Some of that could be true. But if you do something that rubs someone the wrong way, like, you have to be just at least aware of your surroundings and understand that, like, some people are going to find some fault with some things, but that's not your fault. So I feel like as long as you can, take the time to figure out what you need from you on the inside, and then, like, do that would be the most thing. Also, on Uncle Shay Shay, isn't it funny that everything this man has talked about since the beginning of the year, every interview he's had has been coming true?
What do you mean?
I mean, you had Cat Williams on. Cat Williams is exposed the industry. Here we are a couple months later. Diddy on the run. Drake and Kendrick is out there destroying each other's lives. Like, everything's kind of crumbling and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
Is it him or is it Cat Williams?
He was on Uncle Shay Shay. I'm saying Uncle Shay Shay seems to be
a part of it.
His
like it or not.
Like it or not.
Okay.
But his platform has become, like you said, the voice of the common man.
Okay.
And most of the people who are on that stuff, they be telling predictions, and now here we are.
And I feel you. Like, the energy's chosen after Shannon Sharp to be the steward of this particular moment of time.
Yes.
Because he has the number one, damn near most viewed, I think, podcast episode. I don't know if it's past Joe Rogan's yet, the one with Cat Williams.
No, it surpassed that by far.
Okay, but you guys can check.
Yeah.
But I just think that what's that quote? Come on now, he is a moment.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean? Like, he is a moment. Like, it is what it is, and that's what everyone's talking about. He is a moment, but he also is really ushering a lot of conversation. And the cool thing about it, it's non-traditional.
Yes.
It's not what you expect. Like, it's not what you thought it would be. It's like, it's just him. It's just a regular dude having a conversation with people that you think he should not be having a conversation with, but he is.
Exactly.
And people are listening.
Exactly. Come on, Skip.
And he has...
Skip.
He's making the precedence. He's setting the precedence. So it is what it is, y'all.
It is.
Like, get off his Disney. Okay, get off his Disney. Okay? Thank y'all.
Yeah.
So,
Uncle Shay Shay.
Uncle Shay Shay, we support you. Big up.
Come on, Skip.